Mai Muang. Okay, now we've got TikTok on our chat. Let's go back and, oh, God, that's no good. Always bad news there, but let's find out if we are live on TikTok. Trying again. That is me. We've got a beta version of the next version of Aussie Visa Mate, but people can read that. It's close enough. It's close enough. I don't know that I can do anything about the edit while I'm live. I don't know if anyone is going to join. Oh, we've got people joining, which is good. Oh, we've got people joining, but I can't read any texts. If people want to say hello, say hello. And if you've got any questions on things related to migration or anything else in particular, politics, business, the RBA has said migration is not, we've only got supply problems with housing, and that it's not about capacity. Find that hard to believe. And there you go. Now live on your channel, Migration Monday. It is live there on YouTube as well. So yeah, so we've got 5 people watching. Say hello, people. Put a comment in. You can hit lives and all the rest of it, likes and shares and who knows what out. Brandon sent TikTok Universe to Tess. Don't know who Brandon is, don't know who Tess is. Now I need to move to something with a darker background so I can see the text as it come up. Spears 637, thank you very much. I got a shake. Oh, connect to live. There you go. Click on connect. God, there's all these things you need to do. Okay. What do you do, Samuel? What do you want me to do, Samuel? I've got. I can process a visa for you. If you want me to process, if you're looking for a migration agent, I'll process a visa for you. If you've got a question about your migration situation, I can help you out with that if it's within my knowledge. Or I'll tell you to book an appointment with me and I'll look it up. And I've developed this app, Aussie Visa Mate, and now that and you got my email there at the bottom, but maybe I should put that in white. Maybe I'll change that to white. But if you need to email me, there you go. You can get the address at the bottom. If you want to use Aussie Visa Mate, well, we've got the toolkit, which has got all the processing times for the visas. There you go. If you're looking for a transition, it's 14 months to 19 months on the 186 transition. And we've got a points test there if you need a points test. We've got the English test. Now that there's 9 English tests, if you're worried about what scores you've got on English, you can enter in your English scores and it'll tell you whereabouts you are. And we've got some video tutorials, very colourful. We've got spouse visa, priority processing. We've got tourist visa processing, people trying to bring their loved ones from overseas to come and visit them, particularly in difficult locations. Then you give that a whirl. And even though it says parent visa priority, it's not about priority processing, it's about processing of parent visas. Like you don't want to go for an age parent visa or a contributing parent visa. The queue is 14 to 31 years. Oh my God. But the 870 parent visa is a good option for people. It's still expensive, but all the good. Sandeep Panu, what's the waiting time for an 801? Let's have a quick look. The 801. Now this is the 22nd, the 29th next month. They probably won't update them. I'll say that. They probably won't update the processing times. Ask driver, don't need to say you've got a question. That's a statement. Ask a question. And if you like my shirt, thank you very much. I think I've got 16 of them or something like that. Because when I came here to Thailand, I thought, well, I'm going to have a theme, and my theme is the Sua Cheng, which is the, can't really see it, there you go, the Thai elephant shirt. So Sua meaning shirt, Sua meaning shirt in Thai, and Cheng meaning elephant. And of course, if you know the Cheng beer, a Thai beer, it's got an elephant on it. So there you go. User 68 is back. He's telling me how handsome I am. Mate, I'm down to under 81 kilos. I am killing it. Hopefully I don't have cancer. I'm not dying away. Yes. Raise. What's the wait time on a 407 subsequent entry visa? Look, there's no special queue for subsequent entry. You're just applying for 407. And it's 8 to 10 months. So look, it's not worth applying for them essentially, because by the time they get granted, your training will be over, because you're probably maximum on a 12 months training course. Raise, you should have added them when you made your training application. So, but anyway, look, if you're going to be on a 482, just wait till they're on the 482 and include them on that. Try and get them here as a tourist visa. And if you're after tourist visa information, there you go. There's the tourist visa processing video that you can watch. Gives you all of the information you need about applying for a tourist visa, putting your best case forward. Still can't guarantee the outcome, obviously, but it tells you everything that they are looking for, particularly if you're in a nasty country where there's wars or drama, or they just don't like you for some reason. I don't know what the story is. When do you think Victoria allocations and criteria will come out? Well, look, I am putting together, here it is, the state sponsorship wizard, which is being prepared. It will be finished, it'll probably be finished, well, tomorrow. It'll be finished tomorrow, and it'll be available on the in the App Store probably late tomorrow afternoon, or maybe today's Monday, Wednesday at the latest. Having said that, so I'm putting together the state sponsorship wizard, and once the wizard's in place, I can update it really easily once the Victorian streams change and all the rest of it. I spent the whole weekend, 48 hours, putting together the wizard. There are 8 states, 5 or 6 streams per state. Do the math. There's 40 streams and calculations. There's some crazy number of occupation lists. And we didn't hear at the end of last week. We'll probably hear at the end of this week what the allocations are. At least 5 states have at least 5 states have got interim allocations of about 165, I think, is what the Northern Territory said they had. Canberra's actually done an allocation over the weekend, and they've actually updated over last weekend, before last Monday, and they've actually updated their website with the Canberra Matrix cutoff scores and the occupations that were given nominations and things like that. So it doesn't look like Canberra is going to change. Victoria and New South Wales, we don't know when they're coming out, but we can expect that they're going to be very soon. You'd expect, like, at the very latest by the end of November, but probably by the end of October. So you're gonna see these things over the next 4 weeks. Do you know how long the 190 WA takes for priority occupations? My mate got his in 4 months. So, like at the moment, Western Australia's closed, right? It doesn't matter if you're priority or whatever; they're all closed, right? But essentially, Western Australia, they've got a very convoluted scheme over there. They've got their way small 1 and their way small 2, so their important occupations and their less important occupations. Then they've got a priority list of priority occupations, and they say, like, I'd have thought if you had priorities, you'd just give them all to the priorities, but apparently they're doing a little bit of this and that. Luckily, I'm not using that anyway. My gimbal just died. So no one really knows, but at the moment they're not making any applications, and even if you're a priority, it doesn't mean that they're going to give everyone who's applied for the priority. Like, you know, if for instance chefs were a priority, which they're not, but if they were, like, there's 11,000 people applying for chefs, so you know you still have to be at the top of the list to be getting the priority allocation. So I can't use my finger, I've got to use my mouse. Okay. Ricardo, I just got my 186 visa after 7 months. Well, congratulations. Was that direct entry or was it a temporary residence transition? Let us know in the comments below. What do you reckon to an overseas graduate who wants to come to Australia? Well, look, you'll be able to use my state sponsorship wizard in a day or two, and it'll be in the toolkit. So you'll be able to check it out there. Look, it doesn't matter if, like, everyone who comes as a graduate, right? So most of the state overseas people, they require you to be working in your job, and they require you to have at least 1 year's experience to be eligible to apply offshore. So look, I think by far the best thing you can do is get into Australia somehow, and then once you're here, find a job and get sponsored on a 482 visa. Unless you're I keep saying best mates with Elon Musk, and you know you're good with rockets or I don't know, EVs or robots or something like that. Unless you've got some unique set of skills, as Liam Neeson would say. We got 1 million onshore students, right? So why do we need offshore graduates, right? So get onshore and start competing with the ones who are here. That's what you need to do. Wolfen, thanks for the rose. And yeah, people, you can support the channel by liking, by sharing, by gifting. You can do all of that. And keep asking questions, as I'll get through them eventually. So the app's called Aussie Visa Mate, and it's in the App Store. It's only on iOS at the moment. I've got an Android version underway. I don't know where we're at with it yet, but we're getting close. But now I'm adding new stuff to it, so it'll be a little bit further behind. But we're trying. What about the A20 visa? How long does it take from Pinky? Again, you go to processing times, you type in, or you slide up to 820 onshore. You see that 50% of cases are taking 15 months, or over 12 months, and 90% of cases are processed within 19 months. Of course, you are onshore. You might not have work rights, but if you're here as a tourist, for instance, but you might be eligible for them, but you might not. You can try. Also, in my video tutorials, if you're making an application for a spouse visa and you're under that, like you've just lodged it, or you're under the 15-month mark, the 50% mark, that's a compelling reason to get priority processing. Then you need a compassionate reason. You need a compelling and a compassionate reason. Compassionate reasons if you're in a long-term relationship, which is 3 years or more, or you've got a child. And if you've got either of those things, apart from getting priority processing, you should also get a double grant. So you should download the app and watch that video. It goes for 5 or 6 minutes. It explains to you everything you need to know so that you can do it yourself. It gives you the website to go to, the form to fill out, and the kinds of evidence that you'd need based on what your situation is. Obviously, you've got a child, well, you put up a birth certificate, right? If someone's sick for your compassionate reason, you got to get a doctor's certificate. You know, it's not rocket science. But, you know, people need to do all those things. Definitely apply for priority processing. if you are lodging an onshore 820 visa. When will Tasmania open? We don't know when anyone's opening, Wolfen. You're a field tech, $31 an hour full-time, wanted to apply. Is $31 enough for Tasmania for the engineering field? I don't know specifically. Some of the states ask for what your salary is and some of them don't. And some of them will, most of them require you to be in employment when you apply. But if we look at, in the VIP section, if we look at engineering technologist, come on, engineering technologist, so it's on the CSOL. There's 5,500 engineering technologists, so it's not like they're rare, isn't it? Everyone's an engineering technologist. There were no, you see here, NA, that's no offers in the last round, just a month ago. Probably only one more round left this year, which will be probably in November, like it has been in the last 2 years. States, if we look at the state sponsorship, in Tasmania, it's listed and they only made 59 offers. So I don't know how many of them are in Tasmania or what their salaries are, but you can see that if there's 5,500 applying, they're only taking 59. That's just over 1%. So you don't have you need a lot of points, don't you? Now you're not earning enough, $31 an hour, to get a 482 visa. So, and there's no DARMA agreement in Tasmania. So either get paid more, get that up to 40, so you're getting paid more, or look for another job somewhere else. I wouldn't be hanging my hat on getting that from Tasmania. And then we look at the regionals as well. They made 37 regional offers, so it's not very many, but we can give it a try. Krish AU, 189 visa processing for registered nurse, recently lodged in August. Well, congratulations, you've got it in. The processing time at the moment says it's 8 months because they haven't been processing any since May. So the ones that they haven't finished from last November because they're difficult or some issue with them, the processing time's just pushing out. But last year they were processing them in 3 to 4 months. So I've been saying to people, look, they're going to, all the staff will be going on those sort of close to 7,000 people who applied. So you can expect, if you're lucky, if you got in early, like, you applied the day you got the offer, you might get it before Christmas, but if not, you should definitely have it by February, unless you're one of those really tricky cases, in which case it could take forever, but there you go. Amin Aib, how about the 309 partner visa? How about the 309 partner visa? If you've got an offshore partner like I do, and you've got 10 grand like I don't, you could make a 309 application. So the processing times for 309 is a lot longer, 17 months on average, so it's a year and a half, and 90% of cases, or 10% of cases, are over 2 years. It's a bloody long time to be separated from your partner. Again, you're eligible for priority processing if you've been in a long-term relationship, if you have a child. And the other thing you can do, of course, is you can attempt to get them here on a tourist visa. You can go to the video tutorials, look at the tourist visa processing video, and get the lowdown on what you need to do that. Being Kirit, we did the 801 processing time. It was, I don't know, 10 to 17 months or something. Download the app, download the app. It's currently free for the toolkit, but it's going to change by the end of the week. So if you want to sneak in, download it. 309, was it 309? 801 onshore. So you got your first half, you wait for your second half, 9 to 18 months. It's bloody ridiculous just to say, hey, you're still in a relationship. Yeah. Can you tell me about which state a telecommunications engineer should apply? Now, I get this question all the time, right? The state of employment is the state you want to apply for.
because there's no miracle state. Telecommunications, communications engineer. It's on general skills. There's 1,400 people who are applying. There were no offers last round. And if we look at the states, no offers from any of the states for 190 last year. And if we look at regions, no offers for any region. So there's no good state to be a telecommunications engineer. It says here it's not on the CSOL, so I don't even know how you can, or maybe it's maybe you're a field engineer, I don't know. Field engineers are on the CSOL, they can get work. Field engineers, no offers. Regional, no offers. So it's not looking good for telecommunications engineers. And the app is Aussie Visa Mate. Download it in the App Store. 189 processing time, so it's 3 to 4 months, right? It'll be 3 to 4 months. P300 PMV. Jordan offers process the most applications, but have the lowest. It's so unfair. Yeah. Well, look. If I was you, I would have got some advice. Anyone who's telling you to apply for a PMV is absolutely crazy. You're much better off getting married offshore in most circumstances, or applying for a spouse visa by registering your relationship. I know not everyone can do that. Not everyone's eligible, but I mean, it's going to be 5 years, Izzy, before your partner gets their PR, because it's a 3-stage process. It's ugly. If I was you, I'd just go and get married and convert that 300 to either a 309 or an 820. I don't know which way it converts to for a 300 if you're offshore. But you'll skip one of the processes, right? You just get moved on to a spouse application. So that's what I would do. Audiologists. You should download the app. Audiologists. There you go. So it's on the list. There's only 152 applicants. They only made 10 offers last year, and they made no offers in August. If you're looking for the states, this is all based on last year. No offers. Regions, no offers. So if you're an audiologist, then you need to find employment as an audiologist, and then you look at the job sponsors. And you might find there's 2 electronics firms who have sponsored for audiology. Surprisingly, both of them are in South Australia. So there you go. The reason it's showing 8 months is because they've processed more than 90%, right? So the last round of 189s was last November. They had 60 days to apply, so that was January. And if you've been watching the figures since May, it was 3 to 5 months, then it was 5 to 5 months, 6 to 6 months, 7 to 7 months, and now it's 8 to 8 months, right? 8 to 8 months. So, and the reason for that is they're only processing the final 10% of applications that are left, right? So now that, and all the people who work in GSM, they're processing 190 applications and 491 applications, and they've come in a mile, right? So now they're going to stop processing those 190s, those 149 ones. They're going to go back out to 2 years, and they're going to start working on all the 189s as they come in. So there you go. Okay. So what are we up to? When do I think the states will open up? Sometime in the next month. Like Canberra did a offer round last Monday. So some states are open. Some states have got, 5 states have got interim allocations. Queensland said they've updated their occupations lists and their streams, I think. But then
but they're not going to open. You can apply in Queensland, but they're not going to open until they've got their full quota. So every state's different, but they should all have their figures between now and the end of October. What's the wait time for a 186 direct entry, and what's the difference if lodging offshore? Well, there's no difference between lodging offshore, onshore. Obviously, if you lodge onshore, you're probably working in the job, which would be a good thing. Because if you're working in the job, it's hard for them to say it's not a genuine position. If you're offshore, well, it makes no difference to the processing time, but it might make a little bit of difference to you. I received a request for information after 6 minutes. I think it's too late to convert it now. Never too late. Never too late. It's only too late once they've made a decision, and then it'll be converted. So, but it depends. Anyway, get it in there, Izzy. G'day, MD Khan 7C. App's not on Google Play Store yet. We're still working on it. Welders needed, I think, 85 points or something like that. Oops, wrong place. Welders. So many different types of welders, but welding first class. It's on all the lists. 360 people. We said the predicted cutoff was 80, but it was actually 90 in the last round. I don't know how many they took, but there's no one left on that. There might be people who have applied since with 90 points or more. So if they do one in November, it'll probably be 85 is what you need. And in terms of last year, the states, New South Wales and South Australia, made a couple of offers, and South Australia made some regional offers. So that's where you're at for welders, P1 and 4. Dean, accountants need jobs. No offers for accountants. You can see they're getting regional offers there. And the states, Tasmania made 449 offers, which is pretty amazing. And GSM in the last round, NA there is not a happening thing. Not a happening thing. As you can see, total applicants 9,243. Lots of applicants for accounting. And you can see 670 offers. Most of a lot of those. We needed 95 points to get an offer, and a lot of those would also be state applications. Mr. Kim, no spots on my team. Can you change jobs while on a bridging visa for 491, please? Well, I don't know. I don't know the conditions. You should be able to. Well, you can definitely change jobs, but I don't know if it'll affect your 491 or not, because I don't process 491 applications. So I don't know. Penny, book an appointment and I'll look it up for you. Ali Corbett, my application is in and my health assessment is this week, essay based. Any idea of time? Transitions at the moment taking 14 months for 50% of cases. If you download Aussie Visa Mate, you can keep up to date. That'll change next week. 186 transition, 14 to 18 months. So see how you go. Don't forget to like and share and comment and all the rest of it. MD Khan, good evening from Bangladesh. Can I help you? Now live in Malaysia. I don't know, MD Khan. Lion, the 309 we've done. Electronics engineering. Zaid Mohammed. Electronics engineering. Electronics. Engineer on the list, almost 3,000 applicants. Lion, predicted cutoff score was 90, and it was actually 95. I don't know what your cutoff was. State-wise, ACT, South Australia, Victoria, and Western Australia all gave around 20 positions, and in the regions, Victoria. So it looks like Victoria is your best go. Yeah, what can I say? If you've got a job, like you've got a 5% chance of state sponsorship, you've got a 100% chance if you've got a job. So go for that. MD Khan, I don't think you've got skills as a doctor that we can use. A tourist visa for my sister-in-law has been refused. Is anything that can be done? She's Moroccan. Well, look, I don't know because I don't know why it's been rejected. But if you got my toolkit and you go to video tutorials, you can see there's a tourist visa processing video which you can watch. It goes for 5 or 6 minutes, and it goes through absolutely everything that you need to cover making a tourist visa application, from the funding to whether or not you can, you've got an incentive to return home, how long did you apply for? Like if your sister is, people go, oh, it's a 3-month visa, I'll apply for 3 months, right? It doesn't work like that, right? If you've only got, if you've never traveled overseas before, the government's not going to give you a 3-month visa because they're going to assume that you're just here to work illegally, right? If you're coming for someone's birthday, well, come for a week if it's the first trip, right? That's all you need to do. Then you just need to show that you've got, $4,000 or $5,000 to come here. But you've still got to have a good reason to go back. If you're a student, then perhaps you're mid-semester and you're going to go back and finish your second year of university or something like that, right? Maybe you've got a house there and you're paying off the mortgage, so you need to return, or they're going to foreclose on your house, right? So there's lots of things that can be done, but I suggest that you download my app, Aussie Visa Mate, and watch that video and maximise your chances. And you can get it in the App Store. Just type in Aussie Visa Mate, or you can just type in AVM, Aussie Visa Mate, avm.dragonmigration.com, which is my email address is at the bottom of the page there. So you can do that. Leon, I have 70 points here in Queensland for Visa 190 Petroleum Engineer. Is it any good? Well, we don't know what the points are for the states. In fact, the only one that releases it is Canberra, and they don't release points, they release the Canberra Matrix points. We can't get what the points cutoff is, but we can look at what the 189 was, and the 189 was 90, so you get 5 points for state sponsorship. You'd have to have 85 points. Now you've only got 70, you're 15 below that. You're not likely to get selected. There's 326 people before you. If you're a petroleum engineer, I would hope that you have a job, and if you've got a job, get on a 482. That's what you need to do. No offers from the state, no offers for the regional. So petroleum engineers, your only hope, if you don't have 95 points, is to have a job as a petroleum engineer. Are the employment requirements going to be across all states for a pre-invite? Well, I can't tell you what they will be because we don't know, but last year, pretty much all of the states, I was reading the Northern Territories yesterday, you've got to have a job for 2 years in the Northern Territory to be selected. I think it's a bit outrageous. If you had a job for 2 years, firstly, you wouldn't be on a graduate visa, you'd be on some sort of 482 or maybe a working holiday visa. But if you've been there for 2 years, you're you're probably eligible for employer nomination. So it's some of the criteria are just outlandish. 2 years for an onshore application, 2 years living and working in the Northern Territory, but only 12 months if you've been overseas, which I think is outrageous as well. Albeit there is a shorter list, but it's crazy. So Cormac. So look, you've just got to think about it, right? There's thousands of, like literally hundreds of thousands of people trying to get 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 places, right? So, you've got a very small chance. And when the state says, well, you've got to live in the state the whole time, you've got to work in the state the whole time, you've got to have superior English, or you've got to have proficient English. Like they say, as a minimum, you need like 65 points, or you need competent English. But Victoria only took 3% of their applications last year with competent English. Everyone else had proficient or superior English. And most people need that level of English in order to get the points. So, and they're just using it as a way to filter out people. And even if you're offshore, I don't think there's any state which I could be wrong on this, but my Visa Wizard, state sponsorship Visa Wizard, you can see it asks you what your Australian work experience is. Only it's not working. Well, that's a beta for you. Oh, it's crashed. That's a real beta for you. I'll bring it back up. Yeah, so they're asking for 3 months or 6 months or 9 months or 12 months or 18 months. They've all got these crazy times that they're asking for. If you're unemployed at the time, you're not going to be eligible. If you're not current, you've got to be working in a job when you apply, and you've got to be still working in the job when you get the offer. So basically, you've got to continuously work until they decide to give you an offer. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. So, and if you've got a job, 482, it's like guaranteed. Yes. Okay, Cormac Bryant, applying for a 491 regional work visa as a welfare officer. What are the chances of getting it? Well, you didn't say what state you are in, nor did you say if you're working, but welfare. Welfare worker, I'll say you're a welfare worker. It's not on the GSM list. It's only on the state and regional lists. So the states, South Australia, Victoria and Western Australia made offers, not very many, 38 to 45. Does that come up? No, it doesn't. What a shame. Regional, again, 27, 24, 28 offers. So not very many. And certainly not if you're in the Northern Territory or Tasmania. Again, if you've got a job, get them to sponsor you as a welfare worker. BS Art, I'm an assistant accountant in Tasmania. Hi, Doris. Always good to see Doris. Always stops in and says hello. I'm an assistant accountant in Tasmania. Okay, there's probably be more to that later. Leon, oh, it's too much. I have a job, mate. If you've got a job, 482, go for it. I'm working here as a professional here in Brisbane. Very good. What about pharmacists? What about those people who are making all the good stuff? So it depends on what kind of pharmacist you are, retail, hospital, or industrial. I'll say you're a retail one. So it's not on the 189. You've got to be state sponsored. You've got to be state sponsored, or you've got to be regionally sponsored. State sponsors, this is for only retail, might be different for industrial or for hospital. Western Australia was the only one, and regionally Western Australia and the Northern Territory took 51 as well. So you might be a chance as a pharmacist. Probably your best opportunity would be to have employment, as is most cases. Sylvia, currently living in Victoria, do I need to work in my nominated occupation to get invited for 491? I think you do. I think you do. I'd have to look it up, but tomorrow, State Sponsorship Wizard will tell you. It'll just whack in your occupation and your work experience and your overseas work experience and where you live and whether or not you're an international student or not, and bam, it'll tell you the stream and etc. 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 Download Aussie Visa Mate. I'm currently studying graduate diploma early childhood and working as an educator at 485. Do you think I can get PR? I don't think you'll get PR through a points application. You need 85 points. Queensland, I just did Queensland because they've updated everything, specifically said they're only taking people with degrees rather than people with diplomas. So you can't get, if you are in Queensland, you can't get state sponsorship or regional sponsorship. If you've only got a graduate diploma, you need to have a degree in childhood education. I don't know what the other states are going to do, but there's 400 people every month joining the queue. It's up to 6,800 people and the cutoff's 85. It's only going to get higher. If you have got employment as a childcare, like a pre-primary school teacher, rather than as an educator, then you should get sponsored, and that is your pathway. Any advice on labouring in construction work? Well, certainly labourers are listed in some of the Dharma agreements. If only I could spell labour. No, maybe I can't. No. No, it's not coming up. I don't know why. Oh, because I don't know. Oh, because I'm in the state sponsorship area. Hang on. No. Labourers not elsewhere classified. Let's garden labourers, earth moving labourers, builders labourers. Okay, builders labourers. You can see there. It's not on the CSOL or the 189 or the 190s or 490 regional state sponsorship, blah, blah, blah. But we've got Dharma agreements, right? And if you are in the Northern Territory or the Kimberley, which is northwestern Western Australia, labourers can get on a 482 or a 494 in the labour agreement stream, and 2 to 3 years later, probably 3 years, 3 years later, you can get PR. So if that's what you want, if you're after PR, then definitely you can do that. It's possible. There's other criteria. You need to get paid a certain amount of money. I think the labourers earn that anyway. And you need to have English at IELTS 5, IELTS 6 for permanent residents. Inoshi, and I'm in Adelaide. Oh, okay, you're in Adelaide as an early childhood person. So Dharma agreements for register. So you get a Dharma. I think you probably need to get on a Dharma agreement or an industry agreement. But if we look there, so it's listed 6,800 people, early childhood people. Only under 600 last year, so 10% of them. 85 was the cutoff in the last round, which is what we predicted. And there's already 215 people still on that cutoff. So if you don't have 85 points, there's at least 215 people before you. And if we look at the state numbers, South Australia only made 32 offers to early childhood people, and for regional, they didn't offer anything. So if you've got a job, 482, tried and true. Assistant accountant, working for 3 months and going. How many slots? I don't know how many slots there are. I think in Tasmania, you need to work for more than 3 months. So I can't recall off the top of my head, but you probably need to be working. You probably need to be working for 6 months or longer to be eligible. The only one I know of 3 months is Brisbane Construction. They've got a specific stream for construction workers, because even though they're desperate for construction workers because they've got to build stadiums for the 2032
Olympic Games. They're trying to get people on a visa. It's going to take 2 years to get granted. It's fucking ridiculous. So the whole system is full of muppets trying to do this. But anyway, done Sylvia. Marnie, civil engineering draftsperson with 85 points. Civil engineering draftsperson. Where did you say you were? WA. So WA took 273 people. There are almost 5,000 civil engineering drafts people, and 90 was the cutoff. So if you had 85, no, you won't have enough because you've got 85 for a 491. So I don't think you've got enough. You'd have to look at what the other criteria are in Western Australia. I think that you need to have 12 months work experience. It might be different if you are an international student and studied there. But what I would suggest you do is download my app and get onto the state sponsorship wizard, and it will tell you exactly. It'll be available probably on Wednesday. So I'm halfway through programming it. It crashed just before, so obviously I need to test it a little bit. But yeah, it should be good. Who are we up to? The name of the app is Aussie Visa Mate. I'm not looking at a website, Jay. I'm looking at my app, Aussie Visa Mate. You can download it in the App Store. Gus, it is still iOS only. We're working on it. Armadale, retail, pharmacist, or industrial, what state will give invitations? Look, download the app and have a look. I did retail, pharmacist. If you want to check out industrial, hospitality, you can download the app and have a look. Keep up to date. 3:40 a.m. is there. Chances with 80 points in Western Australia after a few years. I think you've a chance, because if you're doing a 190 application, you're a chance. But if you've got a job, you've got a visa, right? You don't have a chance of a visa. You've got a visa and you've got a pathway to PR. So if you've got a job, well, you need to have a job for 12 months, I think, for early childhood. So unless there's some other, maybe I misread it, don't know. But I was quite surprised, because someone else was telling me that you didn't need a job in Western Australia, but then when I read it yesterday, I'm pretty sure it said that you did. So if you've got a job, get on 482. Whew. Urban planners. People, you can download Aussie Visa Mate and look all this stuff up. That's why I built the app. Urban and regional planners. No for the 189, but it is on the 190, the state lists. So state lists, the only states, New South Wales and Western Australia, making offers for urban planners, and regionally, no offers. Apparently the regions aren't developing at all, but surprisingly, Sydney and Western Australia both are. Western Australia is developing because they've got no houses, and they've got this huge mining demand, and Sydney is bringing in more migrants than... They're trying to keep up with all the people leaving the state, actually. But people move to Sydney thinking, oh, it's beautiful by the harbour, but no one can afford to live there, and then they all move somewhere else. Ioana, is it possible to go to Australia with a tourist visa and apply there for a partner visa? It is, as long as you don't have the 8503 no further stay condition, and when you go through customs, you don't go, oh, you need to get married, because they'll go, you're not a genuine tourist, and they'll cancel your visa and send you home. So what you should do, if you're going to come here to apply for a partner visa, is get your tourist visa if you can, and it doesn't matter how long it is, you only need to be here for a day to lodge an application on shore, right? So if you've never travelled before, if you're from a crazy country or a poor country, then crazy meaning war, then apply for a short period of time so that you can get here. Once you're here,
the day you arrive, just lodge your spouse application, you get a bridging visa, you can stay here until it's decided. You might not have work, well, you won't have work rights initially, you might be able to apply for them, but you might not get them. So you might be looking at a 2-year wait without working. So if you need to work, you've got to consider that as well. Are they sponsoring healthcare assistance? The healthcare, I don't think healthcare assistants are, it's not an occupation. I don't know. You need to have a an ANSCO code. I looked in the right spot. Yeah. Sufi Sidhu, so I do have experience in production planning. Can I target production manager's profession in Queensland? I don't know. If you're going to apply for a job, that needs to be what you've been doing for the last 12 months. It's not a case of, oh yeah, I sat next to a production planner and I was the project manager or something like that, right? If your title was production planner and your job duties were production planning duties as defined in the ANSCO definition, then, and you've done that for at least 12 months, then you can probably go for production manager's profession in Queensland. If you're onshore in Queensland, you need to have 6 months working in the field currently to apply, or 9 months in the CBD, 6 months in a regional area. So can we please check civil engineer? Well, I'm not checking both. I'll look at construction project manager because we've already looked at civil engineer. So construction project manager. Of course, you can download Aussie Visa, mate, and you can look it up. Construction, look, so easy to do, isn't it? Like, I can do them in like 10 seconds. So construction project managers are on everything. There's 1,900 other construction project managers. We predicted the cutoff would be 80, but it was actually 90. So you need a lot of points. They might not have asked for that many, but they did get everyone who'd applied up until August 2025. And the states, New South Wales took 300, most states took them. Tasmania didn't, Northern Territory didn't, and the ACT didn't. And then for regional areas, pretty much just Queensland and New South Wales. A lot in New South Wales. You can expect Queensland to be a good place because, as I said, they're trying to build shit. There was an article in I think it was the Australian Financial Review that said they needed 10,000 trade workers or construction workers to build everything for before 2032, which is basically the entire state sponsorship allocation. So look, if you're in construction, I think if you head to Queensland, it's probably good for you sometime over the next couple of years. How many offers for early childhood? Well, they don't say how many offers there are, or that they're going to be. Last year was under 600, but that's offers, and like that's family people, right? It's not, like spouses are included in that number, right? So when the department says, oh, we've got a general skills migration plan for 16,900 people, well, that's primary applicants, their husbands and wives and their children. So, and any other dependents that they might want to apply for. So it's not 17,000 plus their families, it's 17,000 including their families. And I think it's about 2.1 or 2. It's like people bring, if they're offshore at least, they're bringing partners and things like that. What are the chances of getting environmental engineer with 90 points crowed? Environmental, I think environmental engineer, there you go. It's on all the lists. No offers for regional states. No offers, yeah, I thought that was the case. You need to have a job. 482 is where you're going. 189s. No offers last round. Predicted is 85. There's only 403 people, but they made less than 30 offers last year. And the thing is, when it's got that approximate 30, it could be 1 to 10 or 1 to 20 people. We've got 63 people watching at the moment, which is great. If you're not a follower, please follow, and don't forget you can download Aussie Visa Mate and support the channel, and you can like and all the rest of it. How's Carpenters looking? I've got 65 points. I think Carpenters are definitely going to be in demand. There you go, like 415 applicants, 360 offers last year. 65's been the cutoff all the way through. There's already 159 people still on 65 points. And there's some on, where some could be one, on 70, 75, 80 and 85 points. So that's for a 189 application. And then 190s, New South Wales, Queensland, South Australia, Victoria and Western Australia, all making offers for carpenters. So that was last year. So closed at the moment. But James, you should be good. If you get a 482, if you're going for a work visa, you need to be directly employed by the company. You can't be on an ABN. Any trade, any person, you've got to be directly employed. Must have an employment contract. Cannot be a subcontractor. I think the only exception for subcontractors is doctors, so because they spend a bit of time roving around locums and things like that. Doctors on a 382 visa. Must be on a 482, working 1 year and 8 months. Pamela, so you need to be, I think doctors need to be fully registered before they can, I think that's the case, before they can get their PR. But 2 years and you can do a transition on the 186 temporary residence, or you can do a skills assessment, which you've probably already done to get your registration. You can do a skills assessment. If you've got 3 years total work experience, you could apply for direct entry. Then you'll be able to apply now. Just depends on which, whether or not you've done that skills assessment and all the rest of it. Doctors have got massive IELTS requirements, so you meet the English requirement, no problem. What about painters? Are they in the list? Any chances of a 190 if you work for 6 months? Again, the toolkit. It'll be there on Wednesday. It's in development and it's almost finished. That'll tell you, you'll be able to pop in your information and it will tell you whether you're eligible or not. It's either going to say you're eligible or get a job. 482. That's what it's going to say. But painters, let's have a look. Same story. Trades. If you need a job, you can't be a subby. Painters, it's on all the lists. Predicted cutoff was 70 points. What did you say your points were? They're on the list. So you'd need 65 points. Painters for the States. No offers except for Western Australia. Yep. And same with regional. So if you're in WA, you might be a chance. Otherwise, you need to get a job. Get a job. Maya applied for the 820 visa. Should I wait 3 months before adding medical and police report, or do it now? So look, if you've just applied, you want to go to my toolkit, go to video tutorials and watch spouse visa. Oh, I just clicked on that. It might start it up. No, it didn't. Good. And watch spouse visa priority processing, because you've got a compelling reason. No, it is going to start up. There you go. So if you've got a compelling reason and a compassionate reason, then you might get priority processing, get processed straight away. One of the things is you've got to be decision ready. So if you're going to apply for priority processing, then you need to have done your medicals and you need to have your police reports. You should always be doing your police reports, you and your partner, before you lodge the application. You've already applied, because you never know what's on it. And if you've said in your application, oh, I don't have a police record, and then there was that case where you biffed someone in a pub, or you drove your car into someone or whatever, that you'd forgotten about because you got a good behaviour bond or something, it'll still be on your police report, and you'll be on a 3-year ban with 40/20. So anyone making a visa application should have their police report done. To answer your question, you should do it straight away. You should watch that video on spouse visa priority processing, and if you're eligible, you should apply. What's the time frame on a 482? We got plenty of questionnaires. So look, just download the app, and under Toolkit, go to processing times. 482 is taking 3 to 5 months. That'll be updated. It'll probably be longer. Next Monday or Tuesday, that'll be updated. The department will release those new figures. Recruitment consultants, I know because I used to be one. You need to be sponsored, and you need to have a base salary of 80k or higher, basically. So it can't include your on-target earnings or your commission plan or anything like that, because it's not guaranteed earnings. Guaranteed earnings is basically your base. So if you've got a base of 80k, you're good. But if you're on some sort of commission only or 50k base plus 150 OTE, you're no good, right? So FB, there you go. The app is Aussie Visa Mate, and if you can't find it, it's only in the App Store. And if you let me go back here. And if you can't find it in the App Store, just type in AVM for Aussie Visa Mate.dragon.net.au, same as the email at the bottom there, and it'll take you straight to the page in the App Store. I do want to check this out if I can. I don't know if I can do it. Okay. We've answered Krishna. Luna has helped out. Said Aussie Visa Mate is so aqua clear. Look, the only two occupations which are good for PR are doctors and nurses. All the other ones, look, we've got 1.4 million people in Australia who are international students, who are graduate students, who are working holiday visa people. Do you think if you could just do a hairdressing course, you're going to get selected with 16,900 places? Like, there's nothing, right? What you need to do is you need to do something you enjoy doing as a career. You get a job here, you enjoy doing it, you get a 482 visa, work visa, that's your pathway. Don't spend money on an education because you think it's a shortcut to PR. There's no such thing. Everyone's done that with like early childhood. And now there's by the end of the year, there's going to be 12,000 people who are trying to get in here. We're taking 500 people. So they've spent 20 grand doing a course. They've got no interest in teaching kids anything, thinking they're going to get PR, and they're 20 grand out of pocket. And no. Waleed, refrigeration mechanic, was it? I'll do the H1B visa in a minute. Okay, refrig technician. Air conditioning, is that it? I'm not sure if that's it. Air conditioning mechanic. We'll do that one anyway. If not, you'll have to download the app. It's no offers for 491 for refrigeration. So if it's under a different topic, then Waleed, you'll have to look it up yourself. Enrolled nurses we haven't done yet, so let's have a quick look and refresh my memory. Enrolled nurse, it's not on the 189, so you can only get state sponsorship or a 482 visa. If we look at the states, enrolled nurses, South Australia took 50, Tasmania took 69, and Western Australia took 65. And regionally, same story, 65, 33, and 60 in Western Australia. So if you're in South Australia, you're in Victoria, no chances in Victoria. So you need to be sponsored by your employer. So like the H1B visa in the USA, it's like Trump's sort of gone absolutely crazy. Again, at least on this, There's a guy in the US who's a immigration lawyer who I follow, and he basically said, you got 12 hours to get back into the country, your visa's going to be cancelled. And then whoever their blonde press secretary came out and said, no, it's not for existing people, it's for new applicants and things like that. The crazy thing is that, look, I don't know what the quota is at the moment, but it used to be 50,000 a year, and that figure's probably 10 years old. But it's not a lot of people. Like, Australia's got 225,000 people with the 27 million population. They've got 50,000 people with a 300 million population. It's certainly will be affecting a lot of Indian people, because I think 75% of the people in IT are Indians. And they're basically saying that Trump's brought this in because he's had to. They're going tit for tat on their trade things, and he's just basically upping the ante continuously to make them capitulate. But it's pretty bad. So they've got a cap system. We don't have a cap system. If employers say they need people from overseas, as long as they can demonstrate with market testing that there's no Australians available, we can take more and more and more, and that's what we're doing, right? The employers, even though they say, oh, we can't find people. Last year we had 180,000 people on 482 visas. This year we've got 225,000 people. So the number has gone up considerably in the space of 12 months, and it's an uncapped scheme. The more demand there is, the more people we get. Unfortunately, the reason the processing time is so terrible is the planning level is only 40,000. So, of course, when you only have enough staff to process 40,000 people, but you get 95,000 applications, the processing times take a lot longer. So, what can I say? Look, the 482 and the ENS applications that follow them are a very successful way for Australia to get talented people into the country. It's by far the most successful path for long-term migration into Australia. So it's a good scheme we've got. We could certainly improve it, but it's a good scheme. We could make it easier. It's very technical now. It's crazy technical. Social work. Something about recruitment consultants. I did recruiters. You need to be sponsored. Counselling. Someone asked me about counselling the other day. I think counselling, careers counsellor, drug and alcohol counsellor. I think that was Northern Territory. No state sponsorship. Was that? No states. Regional. No. Dharmas. Yeah, so the Northern Territory and Western Australia State, of course, where all the drunks are, right? So you got to go for drug and alcohol counselling over there. I'm surprised it's not in the Sydney eastern suburbs, but that's a different story. Instrumentation. Gareth, I don't know what an instrumentation technician is. Electronic instrument trades. It's not a musical instrumental. If you're a trades worker, it's only on the state list, and no offers. Oops. A couple of dharmas. So that's skills in demand. Regional. No. Need to be sponsored as an instrumental technician or instrumentation technician. Registered nurses. No one's asked me about registered nurses. Let's have a look. Registered nurse. We'll look at aged care. 1,100 aged care people. Most people are not elsewhere classified. 6,100 applicants. Took 800 last year. 80 was the cutoff. 80 is quite a high cutoff. Western Australia, if you're Western Australia took 195 and 41 in the regions. So we don't know what the points are, Luna,
But obviously if it's 80, then for state sponsorship it's 75, and 10 more points for regional, so 65. But it depends on how many people. There's obviously a lot of registered nurses applying. If you've got a job as a registered nurse, get on a 482. Glazier. Glazier. No offers in the regions, in the states. No offers. You need a job as a glazier. It's that simple. 65 points was the cutoff. If you're really lucky, or if you got 70 points as a glazier, maybe you'll get an offer if they offer you next round. But they didn't. They offered this round 65, but next round, don't know. Carpentry. We've done carpentry. You'll need to look it up. Enrolled teacher. An enrolled teacher. We've just got enrolled nurses. We've got teachers. Teachers of various different types: early childhood, middle school, primary, secondary, special education, special needs, TESOL, hearing impaired, sight impaired, teachers' aides, vocational education teachers. Download the app and have a look. See how that works for you. Maria, chemistry technician. I don't think it's listed. Not chess. Chemistry. Oh, there it is. Okay, it is listed. Not on the 189. It's on the state lists and on the CSOL states. No offers for 190s. No offers for regional. So that means you need a job. You need a job. Social worker invitation points, if possible. Aqua Clear. Social. So we only know what the points are for 189s. The social worker points weren't offered last round. We say you need 80. There's 1,000 people in the queue. States: New South Wales, Victoria and Victoria and Western Australia took some. Regions: New South Wales only. So, yeah. Are people liking? Are they following? Are they? People have been gifting, which is nice. Sorry, I've missed the gifts. They don't come up, the gifts on the this thing yet. But I do appreciate them for the people who have supplied them. Thank you very much. Should turn off notifications. They keep popping up on my iPad. FB, you're not going to get an offer for general skills migration. You need a job. Like I said, you need a base salary of 80,000, and then you get, if you do a skills assessment, you've got 3 years experience, you can get direct entry. Maybe you know someone who can do a direct entry for you. But otherwise, you have 2 years on a 482 visa. After that, you get the 186 on the transition pathway. What is the future of Bachelor of Community Service in Western Australia? It's education is not going to get you a visa, right? It's a job. So you can't type in Bachelor of Education or Bachelor of Community Service and find out how many points you're going to get, right? So you need an occupation, brah. Mr. Ryan is a barber, so you're under the hairdressing crowd. Hairdressers, I think, no longer on general skills migration. State sponsorship. States, I can't imagine that they're sponsoring. No. Regional. No. So you need to be employed as a hairdresser. You need a base salary of 76,515. That's what you need as a barber. You need a job. No, not on the 189 list, Mr. Ryan. So you're not going to get a 189. I'm studying a dual diploma. What can I do next? Do a degree. So, cafe manager, Dr. Sick. Oop. Dr. Sick. There you go, cafe manager.
It's not on any list, is it? They're shirking cafe restaurant managers. It's available for state and so a couple of offers. Western Australia had 281 last year. All the states except for Victoria. Victoria doesn't have a list, but they didn't offer cafe or restaurant managers. And regionally, Western Australia is your only hope for cafe restaurant managers. And there's probably some Dharma agreements in there as well. The Dinosaur 3232. Luckily, I'm a good programmer. 232311. Fashion designer. Oh, okay. Not on the general skills. You can't just get a Guernsey, but 190s and 491s. No offers. I can't imagine there's going to be any. There's none. So you need to get a job as a fashion designer. The application, Camera Fernando, is Aussie Visa Mate. You can download it from the App Store. Boat Builder, Bob the Boat Builder. You're joking, aren't you? Bob the Boat Builder. Boat builder and repairer. It's on the list. Only 31 applicants. 90 points in the last round. If you've got 90 points, our predicted cutoff was 60 because there's such a small number. But 90 points. They probably took one or two people. States, no state offers. Regional, no regional offers. Get a job as a boat builder. What about radiology? Any chance to get sponsored? Well, contact all the hospitals. I'm sure radiologists would be in demand for sure. Come on. Radiologists, diagnostic and interventional radiologist. That looks like it's the one. So we can look at the job sponsors. So Skilled Medical Recruitment Company, try them out in Collingwood. That's the only one I've got listed for radiology. So yeah, but it's current. So give them a try. Camera Marketing Specialist. God, going through the whole CSOL. Marketing Specialist again. Oops. Not on general skills migration, only on the state lists. States. No offers from the states. In the regions, if you want to be flogging off Wolf Plus in the Barossa, you can be a marketing specialist in South Australia, or in regional Victoria. Get out to Yellow Glen or maybe Bendigo or Ballarat. There's a couple of wineries around the Victorian Hills. Certainly out at Yarra Glen there is. So there's opportunities there in South Australia, in Victoria, regional sponsorship. But otherwise, you need work. It's on the CSOL. You can get sponsored on a 482. Mr. Ryan, barbers aren't on the 189 visa. What's the AI risk? So the AI, I'm glad you asked. So I did this thing about what's the chance of a marketing specialist being replaced by AI in the next 12 months. There's a 30% chance. It's not good to be a marketing specialist. And it tells you the features likely to be replaced is routine data analysis, content generation for campaigns, report generation, social media scheduling. But then it's got this thing at the bottom, recommended skills to learn, data analytics and interpretation, AI tools for marketing optimization, creative thinking and innovation. It tells you how you can, if you're in that field, it tells you what you should focus on that employers may want or skills that you could need to make yourself useful in the AI revolution ahead. So give it a try. Santiago, we've done civil drafts person. You missed out. You'll need to download the app to find out. Retail store managers have to be sponsored. Look, the program is so small and there's 5 areas, right? The areas are construction, health, IT, teaching, right? if you're in one of those 5 areas, those are the people who are getting jobs. Although there was a fucking tennis coach the last round, God knows how that got through. But maybe Bob Hawke called something. Oh, he's passed away now, isn't he? But dearie me. So if you're any like marketing, retail, environmental, all those kind of jobs, they're not getting GSM applications because they're not one of those 5 major areas. You need to get work in the field. Mutabia, all that stuff doesn't mean anything to me. Like I can't give you an answer, is what I'm saying. If you're a welder, get a job as a welder. I think you needed 85 points. We covered it earlier. It's in the app. You can download it and find out. Multimedia specialist. We haven't done. Oops, we're back in AI. So it's on all the lists. 406 multimedia specialists. Predictive cutoff score was 90. No offers. States last year, no offers. Regions, no offers. So as a multimedia specialist, Malik, you need to get a job. Get a job. Senorita. What about registered nurse? 70 points for 190. Queensland. Let's have a look at registered nurses again. I don't think Queensland's actually a good place for registered nurses. There's 6,100 registered nurses, and that's just the ones who are not elsewhere classified. 80 points. 80 points. You've got 70 for one, so you're 5 points short there. States, Queensland, onshore only. So if you're offshore and you're trying to get in, you can't do it. But Queensland, 48 offers for registered nurses. It's not great. And regional, 24 offers. So, but I don't think you have enough points. I think you need 75 points, and so I think you're 5 points short, Senorita. So try and get sponsored. Construction estimator. Oop. Construction estimator. Of course, all these people are asking questions, gifting and sharing and liking heavily to support the channel, push us up, make us famous. 189. So construction estimators are only in regional areas, but it's on the Seasol. So regional areas, no offers. So it's on the Seasol, which means that you can get work and get sponsored. But that's Mystic. That's all you can do. Aussie Visa Mate, Kuhn Hob. Yes, this is the app for migrants. We've done multimedia specialists. Can I switch from 482 to 186 with 2 years work experience in the Northern Territory? Well, if you've been on a 482 visa for 2 years, doesn't matter where even in the Northern Territory, you can get a 186 transition. But as long as your 2 years is while you're on the 482, you can transition. Doesn't matter where it was. BS Art of 65 points. A job in the field, Tasmania. My chances for nomination, working as an assistant accountant. So, well, you have no chance because 65 points. It's way too low, right? Accountants was like 95 points, right? So BS Art, if you got the job, get sponsored. Get sponsored as an accountant. If you don't, well, you've got the work experience, move somewhere else where you can. Quantity surveyor, 482 onshore. Look, if you're sponsored, quant surveyors can definitely. Quant surveyors on the Seasol, you're away. No offers last round for the general skills, but if you got it, you're away. Sandeep is a chef. We haven't done chefs yet. Chefs, they're on all the lists, but no offers last round. I looked at Queensland the other day or yesterday, and there's quite a few state sponsorship things for chefs, and then regional areas. Actually, what was it? Oh, maybe I was wrong. And then regional areas. Oh yeah, Queensland for regional areas. The chefs are only for onshore only. So, yes, no overseas people. No overseas. We don't need any more overseas chefs. Just the regular chefs. You can be on any visa and do an EOI for a 491, but you got to meet the Mystic. You got to meet the requirements. So if there's a work requirement, you need to be working at least 20 hours a week and in your nominated occupation and blah 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 blah. So, can I apply? BidSec, Aussie visa mate. How looking at that 50% off an appointment. Yes, mate. I've got to update my discount code. BidSec to 60%. Just to outperform the app. Good on you, BidSec. How is the Android version going? We getting anywhere? Okay. Can apply for a 189 as assistant director in childcare. So it's a childcare centre manager. Childcare centre manager. 189, no regional offers. 90 points was the, so you need 90 points. 90 points is the answer for that one. WA aged care sponsorship visa agreement. Tex Benia. If you're in aged care, there is a labour agreement, so you'll be going the labour agreement stream. Moonstar, there's no occupation, a painter and carpenter. Pick one, and that is, and that's the one you go for. There's no occupations for jack of all trades. Yadwinder Bra, he's looking for a 186 sponsor ASAP. Any 186. I've been thinking about doing like I had one employer contact me about a chef's job in the Yarra Glen. Yeah. Carpenters, we've done Carmfritz, Amrit. You'll need to download Aussie Visa, mate, and check it out. Thai, seeing as you're Thai, I'll do it. I got my Suet Cheng on. Carpenters, Thai, Carp. Thai, Carpenters on all the lists. 65 points is what you'll need. Thai. Thai Mark. GSM applications, the states, New South Wales, Queensland, South Australia, Victoria and Western Australia took carpenters. And in regional areas, Queensland, South Australia, Victoria and Western Australia. If you're a carpenter and you're in Australia, then getting a job with a tax file number as an employee, not as an ABN subcontractor. Yadwinder still needs a sponsor. Looking at PR, mate, in from Canada. Well, studying certification 3 in carpentry. Well, you'll do your cert 3. You probably, I don't know what else you're going to do, but you'll need to get some work experience. I'd have thought so. Christopher, is it possible to change jobs after the application for PR has been lodged but not finalised yet? Well, not if it's a 186. If you leave your job for a 186 while it's waiting, then you'll have no job to be granted for you at the end of the process. So, but if it's a GSM application, you can do whatever you want. Or, what PR did you apply for? BSA, Aussie Visa, mate, can't find the app in the App Store. Type in avm.dragonmigration.com. It's at the bottom there, inquiries at dragonmigration.com. My email, just avm.dragonmigration.com, and that link will take you directly to the App Store page. What do I think of cabinet making? Cabinet makers need to be sponsored. I'm very confident about that. No offers, need to be sponsored. So you need a job. Registered nurses, Jessica Round, we've done registered nurses. 80 points is what you need. Look for patent examiner in the ACT. If you're a lawyer in patent examinations, patent examiner, there you go. No general skills, can only be sponsored or state sponsorship. The states in the ACT, it's not listed. No luck for patent examiners. I'm sorry. You'll need to employer to sponsor you. Who wants to live in the ACT? Got sponsorship in aged care in West Australia. What's the chance of a visa grant? Yes, labour agreement. Well, if you're qualified, it's a 100% chance, isn't it? Especially for an aged care, as long as it's not, you're not related to the business. There's all these things that it could be. It's not your best mate sponsoring you, and you're not actually working in an aged care facility. But I mean, if you're working for a, Bupa aged care, well, it's obviously a genuine position, and if you've got your Cert 3 or 4 in aged care, then you're educated enough. If you've got IELTS 5 and they're paying you the award, because like the labour agreement just says you got to get paid the award, which is like 52,000 or something, you're there. Moonstar, painter points. We've done painters, you'll need to download the app Aussie Visa Mate and check it out. Yang, hotel and restaurant managers. Hotel and motel managers. It's cafe or restaurant managers. Yang, which one are you? Are you a hotel or are you a restaurant? It's hotel managers are only state sponsorship or employment. Same with we've done restaurant managers earlier. Chefs we've done. Registered nurses we've done. Cabinet making I've already told you. My FB, I can't say it enough. Recruitment consultants need to be sponsored. It's that simple, right? You're not a medico, you're not an engineer, you're not a school teacher, you're not an IT professional, you're none of the 5 things that are in demand. You need to be sponsored. My way, I got my nomination, haven't received my visa yet. Is there any chance of visa refusal? Well, of course, you've got to show that you've got 12 months full-time work experience. If you can't prove that you've got 12 months work experience, well, it's not going to happen. If you didn't put in your health insurance, or you got a police record, or there's a whole heap of things why you might get a refusal. But if the nomination's through, the position is genuine. So that's the one that most people get rejected on. But look, there's a lot of dodgy people out there who say, I've been a cook for like 3 years, and when the department calls up the restaurant says, oh, he's the best kitchen hand we've ever had, and then you're screwed, right? So if you're a genuine person, you can prove everything you've said. Well, nothing. But if you're trying to scam the system, well, that's what'll happen. Carpenter, Jida, Stephen, carpenter with a refusal visa. Well, send me the refusal record and I can have a look at it, book an appointment. Like, FB, you can marry an Australian. That's the other way you can get PR. Jimena, I'm qualified for aged care. Where can I find the sponsorship? Well, look, see, in green here, job sponsors, right? Type in aged care, right? Approved sponsors. And the ones that are green are this week. I mean, there's 20 of them at least, right? People who tell me they can't find jobs, these are if I give you one, Baptcare, if you go to Baptcare, they've got over 50 jobs listed on their website. They're not all aged care workers, but they're looking for a lot of caring staff. Has it Wangoli? Has EOI started for ACT? It has. They did an offer round on Monday, and they've even published the results with their interim allocation. So, no worries, FB. I'm qualified for aged care. We're going to find it with Danu. Vet nurse for a 491. You'd think that vet nurses would be in demand in regional areas like horses and cows and sheep and all that kind of shit. All those animals. Vet nurse. Kangaroos bouncing off things. It's only vet nurse though, vet nurse, but even still, state sponsorship is available, but not independent. No states offered, no regions offered. So vet nurses need to be sponsored by your employer. And it's on the CSOL, so you can get sponsored. You need to be paid $76,515. Bushboy, York, okay? The Grand Old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. Senior architect, well, you're an architect. You're an architect with attitude. For job sponsorship, age 31. Well, you need a sponsor. It's the only way you get here. Architects need to be licensed. There's 1,000 architects trying to get into Australia. 90 was the cutoff. Don't know what your points were. Or you need to get sponsored. Mr. Ryan, singer and music producer, no chance. We've got enough waiters in Australia. I bet you what you can do, you can apply as a waiter for a DARMA agreement. It's got to be in Northern Territory. Waiters, Northern Territory, all of Western Australia. No, just regional Western Australia. Goulburn, Victoria, Central Victoria, the 4 regional areas of Western Australia. You can be a waiter and you can be a singer and all the rest of it at dearie me. Processing times for 186 direct entry. Processing times will be updated next week, and they're currently available in the toolkit. 186 direct entry, 12 to 18 months. Can we get help on kitchen sponsorship here in the ACT? Wangdi, you need to move the northern. Look, the north. I just love the fact. I just love the fact that the Northern Territory is looking for baristas, right? If you can make coffee, you can get permanent residence if you're prepared to live in the Northern Territory for 3 years or 4 years. And the funny thing is that I saw a list of the 10 most applied for skills assessments, and barista was one of them. So, and truck drivers is another one. But I can understand we need a lot of truck drivers, but baristas, I mean, how crazy is that? Advanced Diploma of Leadership and Management and Automotive. Can I get a 482 as a technical sales rep? Well, Sandesh, it's not about your education. It's about your work experience. You need 12 months work experience as a technical sales rep. So do you have that 12 months experience? And I'm not sure if I'm not sure what the education requirement is for sales. Sales manager, it's definitely a degree. Tech, Newcal, God, no. Sales, ICT sales rep, you need a degree. Sales rep, technical sales rep, you need a degree. So you've only got an advanced diploma, you need a degree to qualify. If you don't have the degree, you need 5 years work experience. So a mechanic from Lebanon, doesn't matter where you come from. If you're a mechanic, then you need 85 you need, I think, 85 points. We looked at it earlier. Motor mechanic, not offered, but we predict you need 85 points. You need a job as a mechanic. If you don't have 85 points, you need a job. You're under 25. If you're qualified mechanic, you've got 12 months experience, I can tell you there's a lot of jobs for mechanics. And if you're looking on seek.com.au, if you look up EV technician, they're not calling them EV mechanics because there's no moving parts, I suppose, or very few. So if you can do EVs, then EV technicians will fall under motor mechanic probably, and you should be able to. You probably need to get to Australia to get that job, but if you can get here, you're going for gold. Sandesh, if you've got a degree, it's like I said, I don't care where it comes from. If you've got a degree, a real one, not one of those ones from Punjab, right, where you just pay the guy and, if you've got a degree, a real one, then you're qualified, right? But then you still need 12 months work experience as that sales rep. Healthcare support workers from the NHS, the Bush boy. Healthcare. I don't know what you'd need. Oh, health promotion, health and safety advisor. Shearer, HEA. I don't know what maybe it's just support worker. Oops. A support worker. Family support, nursing support worker. Maybe that's a healthcare support worker. It's only on Dharma agreements. So in Dharmas, you might be able to get a job in that field, Bush boy. So Cairns, Western Australia, Northern Territory, Northwest New South Wales, regional South Australia, Townsville, South Coast, Warrnambool, Victoria. So it's possible if healthcare support worker is the same as a nursing support worker. Yeah. Nawal, I don't know what CCS is on a bridging or 186. Tell me what CCS is. I'm not sure what you're asking. Cooks and chefs aren't getting offers. You need a job as a cook or chef. Telecommunications, AMRIT, you'll need to look it up because there's 5 or 6 different telecommunications fields. Sandesh, I've told you need 12 months work experience. If you've got 12 months work experience of an industrial product and you're earning a base salary over 76,515, you can probably get sponsored. Jazz, we've done urban planning. I have a VBA degree, genuine. Of course you do. Why would I question it? I'm only stirring. Is there any chance for IT? Look, IT got no offers in the last round. It's pretty clear. You might get a state offer. There's a lot of applicants, and it's pretty clear that the government is saying if you're employed, then like all the states are required to be employed to get state sponsorship, so you really need to be employed. If you're employed, just get on a 482. If you're in IT and you're not earning 76,000, what the fuck are you doing, right? I mean, all these IT professionals should be earning at least 60, 70, $80 an hour. So, I think ICT support is the only thing that you can't get sponsored as. So, Ray's an education advisor. My God. Look, it's the kind of thing that you need. People have got all these obscure occupations. 189, it's not on the 189 list, so you can only get state sponsorship. And if we look, no states offered, regional, no states offered. So as an education advisor, you need to be sponsored by an employer. I assume that means you work for a university or something like that, or an education agent. So they've got, if they're not going broke, they've got plenty of money, so they should be able to sponsor you. Amritsara, telecommunications means nothing. There's no occupation called telecommunications, it's a field. So you will need to download the app and look it up. Gina, where can I find women partners and no crazy ladies? Well, look, what you can do is you can download the on YouTube, enter in Hot versus Crazy Matrix, and watch that video. It's pretty old now, but it's pretty accurate. So the Hot v Crazy Matrix on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, it's gold. Is there any visa available for a car dealership to sponsor? There is. Well, there is the work visa. There's in, or maybe the Dharma agreement. Car detailers there. Car sales. Motor vehicle or caravan salesperson. Motor vehicle or caravan salesperson, not on the list, but it's on Dharma. In the Northern Territory. If you can make coffee and you can sell cars, you can get PR in the Northern Territory. So there you go. Maybe it's caravans because they're all caravanning about. About Josh, about to film a master's in IT. Already have a front-end developer job in a company in hopes. Mate, if you're a programmer, front-end developer, then you're getting paid more than 80 grand base. They can sponsor you. Get them to sponsor you, and you're in. You'll need 12 months work experience. So do your masters, do a 485 if you don't already have 12 months work experience between your degree, and you're in. And you got to speak well. You've probably already got IELTS 6 if you've been doing a master's course. So you should be good to go. We did the Hot versus Crazy Matrix. Car dealerships we've done. When is state? Tony, state allocations any day now. Canberra did an allocation last Monday with their temporary allocation. They can't be far away, and they'll all be rolled out by the end of October. So the next 4 weeks, if you don't have Aussie Visa, mate, under the toolkit, there's going to be a state sponsorship wizard. It's going to ask you for your occupation. It's going to ask you for your work experience, where you're living, whether or not you're an international student, and then it's going to go, you're eligible or you're not, or you need to get a job. So, and I'll tell you what, there's like 50 streams and it's sending me nuts. So if you don't want to be sent crazy, download Aussie Visa, mate. That's the beta version. It won't be out. Well, the real version's out, but the state sponsorship won't be out till version 2.3, which will probably be Wednesday. So, okay, I've talked for 2 hours. We're almost done. What was the urban planning? There were no points. You need work as an urban planner. Enrolled nurses, I think there were some states where you got state sponsorship, but not very many, and there's a lot of only 1% of the applicants are getting offers for enrolled nurses. Have a job. Social worker, same story. Mech engineer J. Mech engineer. Mech engineer. Okay, so there's 8,200 mech engineers. It's listed. No offers last round. Oh my God, terrible. The states, all the states made offers to mechanical engineers, about 50 regions. They all made regional offers as well. So it all depends. We said that you needed 90 points. So state sponsorship, 85. South Australia need to have a job. If you've got a job as a mechanical engineer, you can probably get a 482. Mary Dairy. God. Mary Dairy, the physio. physiotherapists. 80 points was the last round. States, New South Wales and Western Australia are the only ones who wanted physios, and regional areas, none. So if you're a physio, New South Wales or Western Australia for the states. Raise is looking for state sponsorships in Tasmania. Keep going. Following is good. Following's free. You can follow. You can like. We're up to 6,800 likes. That's pretty cool. Pretty popular. Gifting's always good. So is sharing. Anyway, there's some sort of program that I should be on. Can you find me a husband? Sorry, I'm taken. I'm not even in Australia, but anyway. 482 processing times aren't going to be reduced. They're only going to get worse. We'll find out if they're worse on Monday or Tuesday next week. Currently 3 to 5 months. They've been getting 2 weeks worse every month. They're getting twice as many applications as they can process, so they just get worse by 2 weeks every 4 weeks. So simple. We've done Jamyang. We've already done civil engineers. You'll need to download the app and check it out. I'm on a student visa. My 485 is finished for IT. I don't have any experience, any advice. You're going to have to go home, aren't you? If you can't get a job here, hopefully you've got some IT skills that you can use back in your home country. 482 skills in demand update. Waiting 10 months. Jesus, T. Oh, so you've been waiting 10 months. Did you make a skills in demand, or did you make a TSS? My God, that's shocking. Electrical engineer. Oop. Electronic. Where is it? Electrical engineering tech. Electrical engineer. There we are. 4,600 applicants. 200 offers last year. No offers last round. All the states took about 20 to 50 each, except for Western Australia. But Western Australia took 21 in the regions. Tasmania didn't take anyone, but all the rest, the regional areas got electrical engineers, so that's good. Pawan, there's no best state for a chef. The state of employment is what you need. We did vet nurses. You need to be you need to be employed as a vet nurse. The states didn't offer them any positions last year. Mobile plant mechanic. Oof, God. Mobile plant operator. I don't know what, Sean. I don't know what that occupation is. You need to download the app. Answer code. Any news when there's no news about when New South Wales are going to open for sure. Looking for a restaurant sponsor. Anyone who can sponsor that restaurant manager, let them know. So if you've got a police certificate request, there's every 12 months they send out a thing saying update your things. If it's an actual section 56 request and not just an email, if it's a 56 request, well, if you get to them within 28 days, at least show them that you've applied for it if it's going to take longer than that. But you won't hear anything in 28 days. If it's just an email that they sent after 12 months of processing, it's just an email they send to everyone. It means nothing. So processing time for 309 is like 19 to 26 months or something. So yeah, already 12 months. They're all already 12 months. No one gets a 309 unless they're in London for in less than 12 months. Civil engineers we've done. Mech engineers we've done. Electricians, deep core. Deep core. Deep core. What do we say, electrician? Electrician general. Regional, New South Wales was the only one. New South Wales, South Australia, Western Australia for state offers. 60 points, 65 points is what the cutoff was, and they were offered. So you're a chance. General accounting, you need to be employed. Kareem, the next 189 round, I expect in November. It's been in November for the last 2 years. That's what I base it on. And it will be the next and last for the year. Childcare workers, same story, Julian. We've done them. Okay, it's been 2 hours. Thank you very much for watching Splitting Channel. I'll be back tomorrow. Probably the same time, 4 till 6. And if you've got questions, then you can DM me. If you're following me, that's great. If you download the app and support the channel, that'll also be useful. Yes, thank you very much. And I'll